Hey guys, good morning and welcome to ASPOT Office Hours live help sessions. This is where you can ask your quick question regarding ASPOT and get live help. On this live calls, we also tend to do live builds to show you how different ASPOT tools can work in real use cases. Sorry for starting late. I'm trying to set up my new computer, but what we are going to kind of like go through today is something I call the client discovery and project scope form. Okay. So basically, we're going to be building an IntelliForm that can help agencies gather project info from potential clients to be able to scope the deliverables, the timeline, and the budget. So what we're trying to solve here is to avoid the vague inquiries and maybe, wasted sales calls by collecting structured details upfront. So how it works is that we're going to basically collect all of the details that we need from the client, and then the AI summarizes the info and optionally gives a rough code or maybe the next steps. So let me show you guys exactly how I will be building this IntelliForm inside AppSpot. And if you do have questions while I'm building this, feel free to leave it in the chat. Let me just go over here, samples, and then I'm going to be creating a new one. So IntelliForm, let's just call this client discovery and project. Create that. Okay. So first thing that we will do is build out the form itself. So I'll like to create the cover first, and we'll just change this, click properties to change, and then change the title. Okay, so client discovery and project scope form, and then we're going to be using a rich text in here. So just a little bit of information on, just to give a little bit of information on what the form is all about. Okay, so let's say current page. And next, we will be starting to collect the important client details. So let's just say this is the welcome page. And that's it changes. Okay, now we have the basic information page. So this is what we will be collecting. All right, basic information. So we'll just basically getting their full name. Sorry, where is my, oh yeah, I think I'll use the input block. So basically this one's going to be full name, and then the text field is name. So we're kind of numbering them just to let them know what number they're on. Okay, let's set this as a required field. And then we'll also be collecting their company name. So that's going to be another text field. So let's just put here under unique ID, company, and then label is company name, and then helper text right there. Awesome. And then we'll also going to start asking for their email address. So that one's going to be under here. So let's just make sure to put the correct unique ID for that so we can reference that later. Email address, I think this is good. Let's just put, let's say 3, the email address, and then we're also going to be asking for their website URL. So that's going to be another input block. Put that right there. And then let's just say website URL, which is number 4. And then kind of like a helper text. Same changes. All right. Next, let's go and add their industry. I think I'm going to use a drop down for this one. Let's use the select block right there. So the label will be industry. Then helper text is enter your industry here. And then we'll just kind of like add a few options. The local service business, SaaS, and then coaching and consulting, and then healthcare, real estate, and then let's do finance, and then maybe this is add other. Okay, there you go. Save current pages. Just make sure this is already active. And then next, oops, sorry. Maybe let's put number 5 in here. Okay, cool. All right. Next, let's add a new user input page. So this one's basically going to be collecting their project goals. So we had basic information. Now we have our project goals itself. So let's just rename this the project goals so we know. And then we'll just remove this. I think we don't really see that, delete that. And then they can do multi-select. So we'll just add a few kind of like options that they can select from. And then I think we'll do up to 9 maximum selections. And then for the options itself, let's do paid ads, SEO, content marketing, social media management, and then email marketing. And then funnel, landing pages, let's add a few more. Let's say website redesign, and then maybe branding, and then maybe others. Okay, great. Now let's ask them next for what is their primary goal. So this one's going to be an input block, and then we'll just put the unique ID right there, the label, and then for the helper text, describe the main result you want to achieve. Let's make sure that's saved. Oh, how about let's make this a text area so that they have a larger space that they can type from. And then maybe we'll just ask them for what metrics matter the most for them. So I think I'm going to be using the multi-select block for them. So over here, we'll just put the metrics and then the label itself. So they can select up to 3 options, just so we can make it maybe targeted for them. So more sales, more leads, lower cost per lead, and then maybe the traffic growth, the brand awareness itself, and then email subscribers, and then another block for other. Okay, awesome. And next thing is we'll ask them what is the main kind of like problem right now. So I think I'm going to be using the input block for that. So unique ID is problem, and then the label. And then let's add a helper text. Let's make that a text area. Okay, cool. Awesome. So that will be the project goals itself. Next, we will be collecting the current situation of their business. So this one's going to be a new input. There you go. And then basically, I think we're just going to be asking them what kind of channels that they are using. So that will be a multi-select block. Add the unique ID, add the label itself, and then maybe let's just add 6 options right here. So Google Ads, Facebook and Instagram ads, TikTok ads. Okay, and then SEO, and then email marketing, and then organic, social, and then maybe let's just try none. All right, great. And next, we're going to be asking them for their budget and timing. I think I'll use a new input page for that. So we're just kind of like chopping them up into easy parts. So let's just rename this budget. Let's say budget and timing. Okay, great. Now we will add a drop down. So that's going to be select. So for our unique ID, management underscore fees, the label itself. So what is your estimated monthly marketing budget? And then click here in this part, helper text, select your estimated monthly marketing budget. Okay, let's just put a few options in here. So we're kind of like gauging what their monthly budget are for advertisement. Okay, great. Now let's add another one. This one will be paid ads. So I'm just putting the label right there. And then the placeholder itself. And then select your estimated monthly ad spend. So maybe they're not spending anything yet, or maybe they're under $2,000. Maybe it's 2,000 to 5,000. Let's add a few more options and save. All right. Next, I think we will be asking for their start date. So I think I'll just use another select block for this. So this one's going to be the start date. When are you looking at the start? And then helper text, and then options immediately, maybe within 30 days, 1 to 3 months. And then next, we're just exploring options. Okay, great. All right, so that's our section for the budget and timing. Next, we're going to be asking them maybe the decision info. I think we'll just add a new page for that. We're chopping them up into tiny small parts so that they can just easily complete this form. Let's make sure to get that saved. And then delete this one. We don't really need that. I'll just use a select block for that. Unique ID. This one is going to be decision underscore maker. And then we're going to be asking, are you the primary decision maker for this problem, for this project right there? And then let's just put yes. And then let's just say partially. And then no. Okay, cool. So I think those are all the inputs that we need in here. Let's just make sure that everything's saved. Let's take a look at what we added so far. Okay, where did that go? Okay, I think it didn't save. So let's try that again. I think I forgot to hit save. So delete that. And then we're going to be using a select block. So basically, we're just asking for the decision maker, the label itself, and then the helper text. And then click yes, and then partially, and then no. Okay, great. Now let's just make sure that it's saved. Okay, so now that we have that, okay, cool. Let me just select a team right here, costing team. All right, I think that's better. Next, let me go now to our prompt builder. So we won't be using any sources for that really. We will be relying on the prompt that we will use itself. So let me just show you guys the exact prompt that we'll put in here. So over here on our prompt number 1, so as you can see, we have all of these unique IDs. We will reference them in this prompt itself. So basically, we are describing the AI, what its job is. You are a senior marketing strategist at a professional digital agency. Your job is to analyze submitted client information and generate a clear program summary. So basically, we're just listing down all of the things that it kind of like needs to generate, and then a few timeline expectations. And then here's the user data input, and then the response format that the AI must follow. But also a few, as you can see, you have your client project assessment, the strategic opportunity analysis, and then it should identify the growth opportunities, the gaps in their current strategy where ROI is most likely. And then after that, the AI will be able to recommend the services to the user and also the expected timeline. And then this one's going to be an internal assessment itself. So let's take a look at how this will be. Okay, sorry, I don't think, one second, let me just take a look at here. Da, 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 da. Okay, cool. All right. So basically, this one is going to be kind of like an internal tool. Okay. And recommended next step. Great. All right. So here's the recommended next step. So we're going to be saving this prompt. And now let's take a look at how this will perform for us. Okay, so for full name, let's just say Kim Samuel, and then company name, let's just say iSpot, and then gmail.com, and then the website URL, let's just say iSpot.ai, and then the industry, let's just select SaaS. Okay, so what are you looking for help with? Just put this. Help with social media management, email marketing, and branding. And then what metrics matter the most? Of course, is to say more leads and more sales. So what is not working right now? Unsuccessful, let's just say successful campaigns due to lack of info. And then let's click next. What marketing channels are you currently using? So let's just say Facebook, Instagram ads, TikTok ads, SEO. Okay, great. So what is your estimated monthly marketing budget? I'll just select this. Let's just say within 30 days. And then yes, comparing results. Okay, cool. So as you can see here, it says client project assessment. And then it provides us, I think it was able to kind of like recognize all of the inputs in here that we added. So you have your strategic growth analysis, the recommended services, their estimated monthly investment, the expected timeline, and then the lead qualification notes and also the recommended next step. So obviously, we're not going to show this part to the client since this is basically a client discovery and intake form. What they will see is just we're going to say, thanks for completing this form. But on the back end, the AI has already generated us with a client project assessment. And then what we will do is that to be able to kind of like push this information over to the internal team and maybe like kind of figure out the next steps based on this AI analysis is that we're going to connect a webhook to it. So that can all be set up under the integrations page right here. So this, I mean, when it comes to client intake forms, I think it's best that we set up a webhook for them so that we can send data out of Aspot and have it automated via webhook. So that's exactly how we will build this, how we built this client project assessment. It's basically helping marketing agencies. You're basically helping all these agency owners gather project info from potential client by using a smart AI form. So any questions regarding this build right here? You can just put that in the chat if you want. Okay, I think everyone is good with this build. Let me just give you guys a copy of this on the chats. Eva says, where do I find the replay? All of the replay, I'm sorry, are you referring to a recording of this or like the reply, the AI? Sorry, I'm confused. Of this. Okay. Yeah, you can find this in school. It will be posted within the day along with the duplicate link, but let me also put that duplicate link in the chat. Duplicate link. Okay, cool. With webhooks, you can pass data out of Aspot, but you transfer data into Aspot? No, we cannot transfer data into Aspot. We can only pass the data over to an external platform using webhooks, but we cannot use it to kind of like import data into Aspot. Okay, so there's a duplicate link in the chat. Any other questions maybe regarding the client discovery and project form? You would find the data from the form inside Aspot. The data from the form can be found inside the data section. So let me just refresh this. You will find this in this format, Robin. So that's why I highly recommend setting up an automation to kind of like have this collected data formatted into a much better view. You can export this or you can integrate this to a Google Sheet using webhook. You can, put this maybe as a notification, an internal team notification. But right now, if you're going to view it from Aspot, you will have to click on this eye icon right here, and then you'll see all of these unique IDs that we have, and then the answer of the client and also the AI assessment itself. So that's why I highly recommend setting up a webhook when it comes to internal tools like this. I think it is better instead of like viewing it from here and then or maybe downloading the CSV file or the structured format. I do have a lot of tutorials when it comes to, setting up webhooks, passing out data. So I think this would be helpful to have. Last week, you created a flow, and in the AI prompt, you put instructions of what to do with the data, generate a summary. How does that interact with the main AI config you connect that flow to? This is does the AI config know what to do with that data or what happens during the flow? The system prompt or the AI configuration inside the tool itself won't have or won't like have any control or have any knowledge on what happens during the flow. So a flow is an entirely kind of like separate thing from the AI itself. So that's why we tend to like trigger the form at the start of the conversation and then just pass it on to the AI after the flow ended, kind of like handle like, different things, but it won't have any memory. It won't have any knowledge of what happened in the flow itself. Robin says, do you have any training on how to make the prompts? I don't have any trainings on how to make the prompts because I use my custom GPT helper. It is called IntelliForm GPT helper. If you want, Robin, I can put that right here in the chat. You can also utilize it when creating IntelliForms. So it helps me build IntelliForms much, much faster. So it's inside ChatGPT and it also creates the prompt for you. Just describe what kind of tool you're trying to build inside Aspot, and then it would kind of like format the entire thing. So I just put that in the chat. IntelliForm Builder. And then Eva says, we send the data to the client via webhook. Yes, I recommend sending the data to the client via webhook. Yep. Dara says this collector is for us. This collector is for us to get information from clients who are scheduling with us. So yeah, I mean, yeah, you can use this for your own marketing or for your own agency, Dara. You can kind of like use this form to get client information, kind of like gauge where they're at right now. Because the AI will, qualify the lead itself. It would recommend the next step. So basically, it's collecting all of this information for you, and then it's outputting um, what you call it, a smart analysis from all the input that or from all the collected inputs. Eva says the prompt you use is included The prompt I use is included on the IntelliForm copy itself. So if you import it on your account, it would have the prompt itself in there. Dara says, can I ask a question on mute? Yeah, certainly. Go ahead, Dara.
Hey Kim,
Hey, nice to see you here, Dara.
it's been a while.
Yeah, it is.
I did have a question. Was there anywhere in here that would send us a message when someone completes a form? Does send an email? Was there anywhere within the
Mhm.
system here?
Right now, there's no way to be notified whenever someone completes an IntelliForm. So that thing can also be set up inside a webhook. So you can get notified first. Or for example, I send this over to make.com and then I set up an automation where it notifies me via WhatsApp or maybe via email, and then it puts it over to a Google Sheet. I mean, I do remember having training videos on this. I can send you that, Dara, if you want to kind of like
Oh,
set this up that way. I can send you that right after the call.
okay. It's just one of those things that if we send it to somebody
Mm-hmm.
and they fill it out, how do we know they completed something? So
Right.
that was just
Right.
that. That's the one thing about some of these forms is then you have to go through all the webhooks, and
Mhm.
I'm terrible with them. And even when you do the tutorials, I struggle. I've never actually set up a single webhook
All
in
right.
all these years.
Yeah,
So
that's the only way to kind of like view all of the data collected. You will have to log into Aspot and then go to the collected data itself. So yeah, that's why I
okay.
keep on suggesting using a webhook to make things easier for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, it makes total sense. It's just
Yeah,
it's never as easy as it looks.
right. Right.
All right.
There's
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Dara. Robin says it would be nice if it were right inside the ask spot. Yeah, that would be, yeah, I agree with that. But right now, so everything can be viewed in the collected data section itself. Maybe we'll have that in the future because we already had that under lead forms. Whenever someone completes this lead form, you can set up the mail automation and then you'll get notified every time someone completes the lead form. But of course, it would have the Aspot branding on it. You cannot kind of like brand it to your business itself. Eva says, I would like to use this for clients instead of a survey. How do we make sure the info is kept confidential? Great question, Eva. I love that. Let me just show you real quick. So let's make sure that they won't see like the AI assessment, right? We're just basically collecting their info. So what I'm going to do here is I am going to change this ending action from display AI response because we don't want them to see the AI response. This is going to be for the internal team, right? This is going to be for you to have on your end, we will only want to show them the thank you page. So that's what I'm going to select from here. Choose ending action, save changes, ending action saved successfully. Now, when they complete the form, they won't be shown an AI result like this. They will be shown a thank you page, but you will have the AI result itself. You'll have an access to the AI itself under the collected data. So it will still process that. It will still provide a smart analysis, even if it doesn't really show on the client's end. So I just changed that to ending action, thank you page only, and the AI analysis will be kept confidential from the client itself. Any further questions on that, Ava? I mean, info sent to my business client. Oh, for the info sent to your business client, I mean, this is already pretty much confidential. Um, they won't really have access to any of the data unless you set up the webhook. You make sure to configure it to be sent to just that client, or you can just export it from here. So only you can access all of the collected data, Ava, unless you provide like an access to your client. via webhook. See here. Any other questions maybe on this field right here? Got it. Okay, great. All right. Let's see. I think I've pretty much answered all of the questions you guys have, but if you do kind of like have any clarifications you have on this field or anything that you're building, you know where to find me. You can send it to support@askspot.ai. And hopefully I'll see you guys soon also on the next live house sessions. Thank you all for joining.